Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back to the EQ Skills Clinic. I was just checking to make sure I was on Facebook as we got started. So let me just set this down somewhere so that I can see you guys over here on Facebook. Amazing. So welcome back. EQ Skills Clinic, another live training, brand new training to really help you leverage emotional intelligence so that you're able to master your emotions, you are able to communicate fearlessly, and you're able to elevate your relationships. If this is your first time here, if you are brand new, and whether you are catching me live or you are catching the replay, I would love for you to just say hello. Just drop a hello, drop an emoji for me so that I know that you are here with me. And particularly if you're catching the replay, give me a hashtag replay so that I know which content, what parts of our content are really resonating for you, and the kind of training that you are looking for. Let me briefly introduce myself. We do have several new members here over the last week. My name is Dr. Shyamala. I spent almost 2 decades practicing as a registered psychotherapist and a registered couple and family therapist. My doctorate is actually in couple and family work. I have, it sounds funny to say this at 44, but I've retired from one-to-one psychotherapy practice. I continue to lead and direct an incredible team of clinicians at my psychotherapy clinic. And now I've moved into the space of really working with women in a more integrative and intimate way to help them leverage emotional intelligence. I do that inside another program called the EQ Code, the Emotional Intelligence Code. So I'm the founder of the EQ Code. I'm also a podcast host, Confessions of an Ex-Therapist. If you haven't heard it, go and check it out. And I've been a media expert for probably over a decade at this point. I am a wife and a very, very proud mom of an incredible 11-year-old daughter. If you hang out here, you're going to hear stories about my family, my own marriage, my own parenting journey, all of those sorts of things. So I want to welcome you here and thank you so much for taking the time to invest in yourself first and foremost when it comes to these types of skills, but to also be part of this community. We have a really incredible community here of women who I can honestly say I created and opened this Facebook group just over a year ago now. It was last March that I opened this Facebook group, and our community has grown, not just in size and numbers, but it's really grown in depth. And I find the conversations that the women inside of this group have are incredibly supportive. You guys ask such amazing questions. And I don't think I've ever met a group of women that are so committed to their own personal growth and development. We have so many incredible members that have been here for quite some time. Perhaps they've worked with me privately, perhaps they haven't, but they are just so committed to showing up every single week, watching this training. I know some of you block it off in your calendar, even if you don't catch it live. And we don't take that lightly. We're so, so grateful as a team to be able to serve your needs in this way. So I'm going to jump into our teaching in just a moment. So here's how today's session is going to go. I'm going to jump into the teaching and give you some tools, some strategies, things like that. And then at the end, if you've been tracking with us and you're still kind of on the fence about joining us for our brand new 4-module intensive, I am also going to tell you a little bit about that. And if you've already enrolled, you've already registered, and you're going to be joining us, I'm going to give you just a couple of details about what to look out for in terms of our work together next week. So without further ado, let's jump into the content and the teaching. In today's conversation, we are going to be talking about relationship skills, is what I would call it. But really, I think a better term for it is a relationship concept that is often not taught to us. It's a relationship concept that's so critical to improving your relationships and having better relationships. It's a relationship concept that I would say is missing from mainstream media. if you look at social media, if you look at, your typical rom-com sort of movies, if you look at all the stories perhaps that we have been told and that we have perhaps bought into as little girls, this particular concept, when it comes to relationships, is not one that is commonly shared. It's a concept that's not commonly taught. It's a concept that isn't commonly valued, if I can put it that way. It's not a concept that's very common. And for most of the women that I work with, when we begin discussing the concept that I'm going to share with you today, they often tell me it's a huge light bulb moment, that this particular concept is one that they had literally never heard of growing up. And yet, once they begin to engage with this idea, engage with this sort of way of navigating relationships, they can begin to see perhaps where they've gone wrong in the past, where they've gotten stuck in the past. And they're also able to see hope for the future. They're able to see how there is a framework, if you will, for elevated relationships that can really make a significant difference. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the single factor that all elevated relationships have in common. There's a single factor, a single element, a single dynamic that I can confidently say all elevated relationships have in common. And so as I teach today, I want you to really examine your own relationships. And I would say this will probably resonate most deeply in your personal relationships. So whether you are partnered or whether that's relationships with family of origin, or relationship, if you're a parent, perhaps the parenting relationship, even friendships, you're going to find probably a strong resonance here. But I would encourage you, I'm a very firm believer that emotional intelligence is not just for our personal relationships, but it's also for our professional relationships. And so I would encourage you to really think about that. I would encourage you to think about, is this element, is this concept present in my professional relationships as well? And if not, how can I bring some of this to all aspects of my life? I want to start by sharing a quote that is not mine, but it's such a beautiful and powerful quote. Love rests on two pillars: surrender and autonomy. Our need for togetherness exists alongside our need for separateness. So this quote is by Esther Perel. If you don't know who she is, go look her up. She has written some incredible books. She's got a podcast. But really, when I was coming up as a couples therapist, I really looked to Esther Perel for resources and training. I think she has provided the area of couples therapy with some really leading edge concepts and ideas. And one of the most beautiful concepts, I'm not certain that she founded this concept. Certainly there have been other couples therapists that have worked with this particular concept, but I think Esther Perel is one of these professionals that has really, in my opinion, made this concept very accessible to us. She explains it in a really beautiful way. And so I want to talk about this concept of togetherness and separateness. Togetherness and separateness. It's so, so important. For me, her quote couldn't be more true. It couldn't be more true that our need for togetherness, our need for connection, exists alongside our need for separateness or our need for individuality. We have both needs within us. We have a need to be safely and securely attached, and we also have a need for freedom and individuality. And so the concept of balancing these two principles inside of any relationship, I truly believe, those relationships, you might see a couple of people, you're like, man, that is like they look like they've got such a great connection. There's such an ease. There's such a flow. There's so much respect. There's so much love between these two people. If you really think about it, now that I've introduced you to this concept, I think what you'll begin to notice is that those relationships that you might see, and even perhaps you experience some of these yourself, that are really elevated, kind of high powered relationships, they have found and continue to find the balance between togetherness and separateness. I really believe that that balance is required in order for us to elevate the quality of any relationship. So this could be with your colleagues, your friendships, parenting, romantic relationships, and leadership. I think it's all about that balance between togetherness and separateness, and that we really need this balance in order for those relationships to thrive, in order for those relationships to grow for the long term, in order for those relationships to continue to deepen. But interestingly enough, I think that we also need that balance between togetherness and separateness for our own growth, our own development, right? So if you are anything like me, and if you are anything like the women inside of this community, we are just as committed, if not more committed, to our own personal growth and our own personal development as we are to our relational health, to the health of our relationships. We are just as much, if not more, committed to doing our own inner work and our own deeper work. And I find when we learn to balance togetherness and separateness, and let me just speak from personal example, when I personally learned to balance togetherness and separateness in my relationships, the most beautiful thing happened. So not only did my relationships become more authentic, not only did they deepen in intimacy, not only did the space between myself and the other flow with more ease. Not only did that energy shift inside of the relationship, but I found a deeper sense of confidence in who I am. I had a deeper sense of knowing who I am. I felt more safe and secure in who I am, right? Who I am, who I'm becoming, and what I bring to every aspect of my life. So this, for me, balancing separateness and togetherness really is the secret. And it's the often overlooked element to elevated relationships. And there's actually a fancy term for it. We call it differentiation. And I say that one again, I'm not going to bother spelling it for you. You can look that one up. It is called differentiation, the ability to be separate, the ability to be different, separate from the other, is that critical piece that's really needed in order to balance togetherness and separateness. I want to say that again. I want to unpack it just a little bit. Okay. So in order for you to be able to feel good, feel safe, feel confident, feel secure, feel like you are able to balance togetherness and separateness in your relationships. What do I mean by that? It's like, you don't put your stuff on the other person. If, the other person that you're in a relationship with is emotionally activated, or they're stressed, or they're in a bad mood, you don't take that on. Okay. That's an aspect that a lot of women struggle with, that it shows that you are not highly differentiated. When you take on other people's stuff, when you put your stuff on other people, when you are activated emotionally based on what other people are thinking, feeling, and doing, what that indicates is a low level of differentiation. Okay. A low level of differentiation. So what we want in elevated, high-powered relationships is we want to increase our ability to actually be comfortable balancing togetherness and separateness. And part of balancing separateness, part of building differentiation, is being able to know, respect, and understand that not everyone's going to share your preferences, right? So let's say you have a preference to stay in and have dinner. I use this example a lot. You want a date night every single Friday night with your partner, but that's not his idea of how he wants to wind down on a Friday night. The ability to say, this is a preference that I have, and I can understand and respect that this may not be a preference that you have. That's another good example of differentiation. Our ability to do that without becoming dysregulated is really what allows us to balance that togetherness and separateness. So let's look at what are some of the key concepts, some of the key themes of differentiation. What does it actually look like? So think of it this way. As much as we are interconnected, as much as we have attachment, secure attachment, as much as we have that need for togetherness, we are simultaneously individual. We are still two individual people in any relationship. That goes for your marriage. It goes for any partnership that you're in. It goes for parenting. We are interconnected for sure. That's how we're wired, I believe, as humans. But we are also at the exact same time individual. And if you find yourself losing your sense of self and individuality in a relationship, that's a really, really good indicator that we need to work on that balance between togetherness and separateness. We need to increase your level of differentiation. Okay. We have a right and responsibility to our unique feelings, thoughts, needs, and desires. We each, every single individual on this earth, as well as every individual in any relationship, has a right and responsibility to their unique feelings, their unique thoughts, their unique needs, and their unique desires. So if we have a right and responsibility to those things, guess what? Others do as well, right? The people in our life also 100% have a right and a responsibility to their unique feelings, their thoughts, their needs, their desires, okay? We want to make sure that we're able to keep those separate, that my needs are my needs, and you're allowed to have your own needs, and they may not be the same as mine. The third concept I want you to think about is that we are equal parts unique individuals and creatures of connection. Often when I work with women and we really go deep on the concept of increasing their levels of differentiation, one of the questions I will often get asked is, but Shyamala, I want to be connected. Like I want to be connected to my partner. I want to be connected to my child, or I want to be connected to my best friend, or whatever it is, whatever relationship that is, but I want to be connected. And my response is this, is that unless we are differentiated in our relationships, meaning, I'm going to keep explaining that term because it's such a funny term. Unless we have a strong sense of self and individuality in our relationships, we're actually unable to be authentically connected. The connection is inauthentic. Why? Because it is undergirded by perhaps feelings of fear, perhaps anxiety, perhaps a need for control, perhaps a need to manipulate outcomes, right? All of these relationship toxins begin to play a part in the interplay, in the interaction, in the engagement between two people. So we are equal parts creatures of connection. For sure, we need connection. For sure, we need that sense of attachment. But we are also equal parts individuals. And that's what I mean when I say this, the missing piece, right? In most relationships is this balance, is to find that balance between togetherness and separateness. And really, once we're able to do that, for me, this is the secret to unlocking amazing relationships. I really hope that you have enjoyed this teaching. I will be back again next week with a brand new concept and some brand new teaching for you. I'm going to move now into just answering a few additional questions that have come in about our brand new program. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, we have we opened registration just about a week ago. We opened registration last Wednesday for a brand new program on specialized communication skills. So we've had lots and lots of questions about how is this program different from some of the other teaching? You know, do I need to attend live? Those sorts of things. So let me first just really clarify what the goal and the outcome of this program is. Why did I put this program together? The reason I put this program together is because of all the skills that I teach emotional mastery, I teach communication skills, I teach leadership skills, I teach relationship management skills. Of all of the skills that I teach, the single most coveted skill by my private clients is communication. Communication. My private clients tell me, Shyamala, we could talk communication all day, every day with you. How do I say this? What do I do when I'm feeling dysregulated? You know, like, it's communication. It's how to actually communicate, how to show up in difficult conversations. And I've come to realize that communication continues to be one of the most complex, one of the most misunderstood, misinterpreted aspects of our lives. Regardless of how far we've come, I find that communication continues to be an area where people really do feel lost. And women in particular tell me that they really feel lost. So for me, communication is the most critical skill that you can possess, personally and professionally. I think it hits every single aspect of our lives. And so that's why I created this program. It is called Emotion and Energy in Communication. If you missed my Instagram live yesterday, we have posted it here inside of this Facebook group. Just let a team member know. You can comment below this video, say, hey, I want to see that IG live. We will tag you in it so that you can watch it. I talked all about, like, what does emotion mean inside of communication? What is the energetic exchange that happens between two people inside conversations? And why is that so important to how you're communicating? Okay. So I want you to watch that if you want more information on the specifics of what emotion is and what energy is inside of communication. Inside the training, though, what I'm going to give you is the exact blueprint that's going to allow you to hold your personal power in difficult conversations without fear, guilt, or aggression. Okay. It's all about learning exactly how to hold your personal power in those difficult conversations. Maybe these are conversations where you have to deliver information that's difficult or uncomfortable. Maybe these are conversations with your team as a leader. Maybe these are conversations where you've kind of hit a stalemate with your partner. Whatever those difficult conversations are, this program is going to teach you how to hold your power in those difficult conversations without fear, guilt, or aggression. And I can't stress that enough. Is that those feelings, typically fear, guilt, aggression, are the feelings that really do shut down communication. Okay. So that's what the program is all about. This is really, it's not a behavioral communication skills course. It's not a basic communication skills course. It really is for the woman who's looking for more specialized skills that are going to help her to navigate her life and her relationships with the utmost confidence. That's what this program is all about. So the one question that I'm getting over and over and over again is, I'm super busy. It's starting next week. I don't think I can set the time aside to do it. No problem. I would say probably, 80% of the women that have enrolled and are joining me next week, they've already registered, are not going to be able to attend live. And that is not a problem at all. I will be teaching it live for the first time ever. So if you're able to attend 1 or 2 sessions live, awesome. If you're not able to attend the sessions live, you're not alone. Most of the women that have registered are not able to attend live, but they want access to the recordings. They want access to the training. They want access to the workbook at this price point. Okay. So most of the women have reached out and said to me, Shyamala, I can't attend live. Should I wait till next time? And I've said, I don't know if I'm going to teach it live again. I don't know if I'm going to teach it live again. we will teach, we will sell the package again, we will sell the program again, but I don't know that I'll teach it live again. So whether you can attend live or not is really not a problem. You will have lifetime access to the entire program. You'll have lifetime access to the video teaching modules. You're going to have lifetime access to, there's a workbook that goes with each module. You're going to have lifetime access to all of that. Okay. The price point is $497 for the entire program, lifetime access, including if you decide to show up live for the training. And we have a payment plan available. So if you need to split the payment in two to make it a little bit more accessible to you, we have that option available as well. We did have a couple of people reach out and ask if they could split the payment. So we just set it up on our registration page. So that option is there as well. So we kick off our training on Tuesday, next Tuesday, August 3rd. I will be live every single day inside. There's a private group for this training. I'll be live every single day training Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's going to be so fabulous. I'm so excited about this program. If this feels aligned for you, so, and how do you know if this feels aligned? If you know that you are not saying things you need to say in conversations, this program is for you. If whenever you go to have a difficult conversation, your stomach is in knots, you get anxious, your heart rate goes up, you feel really tense and uncomfortable whenever you have to have any sort of a difficult conversation. And sometimes for the clients I work with, it's a very small thing. But anytime you need to have an uncomfortable or difficult conversation, if you get highly dysregulated, your emotions are like all over the place, this program is for you. If you've been stuck in a particular rigid pattern of communication, so this is sort of one of those, it's been an ongoing issue. Perhaps it's with your partner, perhaps it's with an adult child, perhaps it's even in parenting. If you've been stuck in a rigid pattern and you don't know how to get unstuck, this program is for you. So if you've maybe tried some behavioral communication skills, you're like, that doesn't really work, or that doesn't get me very far, or it's not landing with my partner, it's not landing with my team, it's not sitting right. If you're looking for more specialized skills, if you really want to learn how to integrate your personal power with assertive communication, then this program is for you. All right. If you got any questions, let us know. I think Krista has put the link to register into the chat. Please don't delay. It's a long weekend coming up. If you are interested, I would make sure to get registered before the end of the week. And if you have any questions, let us know. Have an amazing day, guys.